everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and our weekly cash or trash. Yes, these videos just keep getting later. Tom's video didn't come out till noon today, so we're late on a Monday doing a cash or trash, but I want to thank anyone who shows up and hangs out with me. We had a few people tailgating early. We had my man GT Key, who's always tailgating early, as is this guy, Unruly. I hope Unruly, you had a good day at work, my friend. Blue Collar Dan, what is going on? And GTK is back. There he is. Awesome. Glad to have you here in person right as we're getting started. I hope you all had a good, I was going to say had a good Monday, but the fact that you are here means you survived it, which probably makes it about as good as you can expect from a Monday. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing here with Cash or Trash. If you are new to the channel, Cash or Trash is where we look at the hot books of this week and we make predictions sure to go wrong. So what it is I've been doing, hey, Spec Media, what is going on? Don't think that's going to happen, but, you know, I appreciate you stopping by anyway. So basically what this is on Saturdays, every week I put out a look back video. I look back at the values of the hot books from 6 months previous, see what they're doing in the market now, and and how they performed over the last 6 months, whether or not you should have been patient, whether or not you should have invested then. If you follow that list, generally it's be patient, but you never know. There are a few books that go the other way, so we try to look at what types of books do what. And then I use that information. I've been doing that list for over 4 years now. And I use that information to do this video where I look at the hot books of this week and make predictions of what I think they're going to do in the market over the next 6 months and sometimes longer term. How do I do that? I throw them into categories, and these are my categories. We got our straight cash, homie. We got books that I expect to continue to rise in value. Usually this is more of there's very few of these on the short-term 6 month thing. But we get a lot of times we'll talk about a book that maybe is an I'll be back or something in the short term, but a straight cash in the long term kind of thing. We got our worth it. These are books that are probably priced about right, but for whatever reason, are probably priced about right. Maybe if you invest now, you're going to do okay. You may even gain a little bit, but you're probably not going to lose anything. We got our I'll be backs. These are books that are kind of the flip side of that worth it. They're not way overpriced, but if you're patient, you're probably going to be able to find a deal over the next 6 months. We got our traps. These are books that are going to drop 30, 40, 50%. We get multiples of these every week. And these are books that are just because of whatever news has sparked interest in them are just going for values that they will not be able to sustain long term. And then last but not least, we have our dumpster fires. These are books that are going to drop 60, 70, 80, sometimes plus % in value. And yeah, these are, again, books that are hitting the people are chasing for a reason that's really just not sustainable. Occasionally we'll throw in a whatever because there's a book that, isn't really going for it's going for cover price or something, just lots of sales, lots of interest. If you buy in, it's probably not going to hurt you any. It's not really got any place to go. So let's see if anybody else has joined us. Phil is in here, and I think the dog is not going to make it tonight. He's been doing better about just hanging out with me while I was talking and not whining and whimpering. We're going to see, but he did lay his head back down, so we will see. We're going to give him a shot. Let the old man stay in here for a little bit, but if he starts making a bunch of racket, I will get up and kick him out. So with that, without further ado, we got 18 books to talk about this week. So let's dig in and see what we can make some predictions. So let's see what you guys think. First up, we got a repeat offender back again. Amazing Spider-Man, the movie #1, because CGC is having an Andrew Garfield signing. Last week when we talked about it, let me get what the values was. It was $60 for a raw copy. A 9.8 went for $350 that obviously somebody was going to try to crack and get him to sign and reslab. Since then, a 9.8 went for $625. Then another 9.8 went for $1,000. Raw copies are still in the $60, $80 range, so they went up a little bit, but not a lot. But 9.8 went for $1,000 on this book. Yeah, we talked about this before. When they did this before, The raw copies were an I'll be back. That 9.8 at $1,000 is an absolute dumpster fire. There's no way that a 9.8 unsigned is going to sustain $1,000. Now, you're going to argue that that guy who bought that 9.8 is going to have it signed. And if it comes back at 9.8, is it really a dumpster fire then? Because it's got the signature and it's still 9.8, then it's probably going to be worth that. You can make that argument because you're getting the signature, but that still seems very extreme. And what happens if it doesn't come back at 9.8? Like, then you're definitely not going to, even a 9.6 is probably, with his signature is worth quite a bit. But most celebrity signatures don't carry that kind of crazy value. I don't know. That seems extreme to me. Obviously, raw copies without a signature are not going to sustain these kind of prices in 6 months. So the only reason you'd be chasing this now is to buy the signature, to get the signature on it. And then you're basing the value, what you pay now versus the value of what you could get for with the signature. That still seems extremely high at $1,000 to me. I think that's really, really bad. It's just so fine you can give me this book. She is definitely, yeah, I got a weakness for her. That is for sure. Yeah, nah, hard pass. No greatest notes. You and I have the same luck, I think, you arranged. But so yeah, it really, I mean, if you got that 9.8 and you had the signature, you're probably getting that, but I don't know that you're making anything off of that. It still seems really, really high at $1,000. I still think that's a dumpster fire. All right, next. We got the Butterfly #1 hitting the list again. This has been on the list maybe 2 or 3 times this spring, or at least one other time it's been on the list. Blue Collar Dan was like, nope. I think I thought it was Andrew Carmel. Yeah, nope. So it was on the list previously when it got optioned. Now it has been greenlit, and we have casting of one of the characters. Oh, I can't think of the actor's name. One of the actors from Lost. I'm blanking at the moment, but anyway, he was also like on Hawaii 5-0 or something for a while. But anyway, one of the actors from Lost has been attached to this. The show is greenlit. Raw copies, though, are only going for $4. It's still going for basically cover price. It's probably $4 to $10 at this point if you really buy it. That's a whatever. Okay, you're investing in something that's going to be optioned for cover price. That's no big deal. But people are paying $200 for 9.8. And the reason is there's not very many of them. But Tom and I talked about, like, when they did it the last time, when it hit the list the first time, there was like 8 9.8s on the census. Now there's like 38. My guess is that number is just going to continue to increase. I don't think it sustains the 9.8 value of 200 on the 9.8. Another one that I think is a dumpster fire. I think it's probably going to be like $100 book if it even gets made. And if not, it's going to be less than that in 6 months. Yeah. Meh fly. It's a kind of a weird one. Daniel Day Kim, thank you. Thank you. I was like blanking on his name. I could not. I could see his face. I'm bad with names, so. $200. Nope. We're in the nope mode today. I like it. All right, next we're moving into covers. The one cover that made both lists. This is World Tree #1, the second print. Peach Momoko, 1 per store. A reminder: 1 per stores tend to be basically the equivalent print run of a 1 in 25 generally. Generally, those are very close, and generally they perform fairly similar, although I would actually say 1 per stores are more volatile than 1 in 25s, meaning the ones that hit do really well, and the ones that don't actually probably do a little worse than your average 1 in 25. So I think the range on 1 per stores tends to be a little bigger. And I think, but yeah, so that's just to give you kind of perspective on what we got here. Cover price worth the roll. Yeah, if you're buying that other book, that Butterfly cover price raw, then yeah, you're doing okay. I would definitely look for a raw copy. Demo Momoko, this one, good, bad, average. Yeah. I kind of like this cover. I don't know anything about the series. I guess it's like a horror, violent thing. But this 1 per store is going for $75 to $100. So that's triple to quadruple ratio, which is the sweet spot for a 1 in 25. That usually means the book's going to hold pretty well in this range and maybe even go up just slightly. That usually ends up being about a worth it. But here's the thing. This is a indie comic, which puts a little bit of a twist on that. They don't sustain as well because they rely on the story and interest in the series continuing. So if World Tree becomes Something's Killing Children, probably too extreme. If it becomes Nice House on the Lake, if it becomes, which is another Tinian product, if it becomes 8 Billion Genies, this is probably worth it, if not straight cash. But those are few and far between. To me, this is an I'll be back. I would be patient on this one. I would not chase this at 75 to 100 for sure. There is bad Momogo and good Momogo. This is good. Yeah. This is the second print. Did I not say the second print part? Hey, Matthew, what's going on? Yeah, second print, 1 in 25. Or 1 per store. Sorry. Second print, 1 per store. Not a bad read so far. It's just got to sustain, and it's going to be hard. It's just hard for that to happen. Rodney, what is going on? Now, hey, Kenneth, what is happening? Now, Frankie, did I say hello to Frankie already? I can't remember. I think I did. Yeah, definitely an I'll be back, I think. I think this is definitely an I'll be back. It's hard for the series to maintain the momentum that will maintain these values. It just is. Next, we got the Rocketeer #1, or Adam Hughes 1 in 10 Virgin variant. Nice Adam Hughes. We got nice Betty Page. We got Rocketeer. We got Adam Hughes combining to make this 1 in 10, 20 to 30. So we're talking double to triple. That's still, it didn't get the triple. That's still, even with Adam Hughes, I remember like the Sabrina Adam Hughes that was really hot for a while and then just collapsed. Eventually, this is an I'll be back. There is a fandom for the Rocketeer. There's a fandom from Adam Hughes, but I don't know that this is spectacular Adam Hughes. I think this is a I'll be back. He thinks it's a decent play. I think at 20 to 30, it's a little high. If it was, I think it's a little high. I don't think it, I think it's an under 20, but we'll see. Hey, DeBrock. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. Don't hate it. I get that. Doesn't think Adam Hughes has ever done a bad cover. There's a couple in his Wonder Woman run, and there's a couple in his Catwoman run that I'm not great on, but I don't know that I would ever call any of them bad. I can't think of one that's like bad. So yeah, she does look a little like Katy Perry in this. Yeah, I think Katy Perry definitely has the Betty Page look. Really, she really does. Bonnie, what is going on? Too high. Yeah, a ratio definitely. If you can get it for ratio, for sure. All right, next we got DC Pride #1, the Jim Bartel 1 in 50, 75 to 80 for a 1 in 50. That screams trap. I get super popular characters. Bartel's a fairly hot artist, although her stuff really hasn't held all that well overall. But these Pride covers kind of a few of these did this last year, and they didn't really hold up very well. 75 to 80 on a 1 in 50 screams trap, regardless of any of the other details you know about it. Yeah, so I would this is definitely one I would be patient on. I like the cover. I like Bartel in general. I like these characters, but yeah, he's very, that's not it. That one's not a trip. Unruly's like, meh. Yeah, I don't think it's great, and the value is saying that it's probably just okay. So, and probably going to be under ratio at some point. Next, we got David Nakayama on the list again. He's been very popular lately. This is 1 in 25 Harley Quinn #30. This is 1 in 25 push and triple ratio, going for around 70. So right at that borderline. But in general, the Nakayamas haven't really taken off and held. They've done pretty well, in terms of sustaining, but they haven't really they're almost always turn into this. They almost always turn into I'll be backs. They don't really collapse. for the most part, but they don't really take off and go and hold it as much value as they totally get. Turn the fleet around. Totally agree, Frankie. There you go. I think it was very meh for a Bartel. Okay. Yeah, wait for the July FOMO. There you go. Yeah. I do like the. I'm not Nakayama. I know my friend John's a huge Nakayama fan. He's a little bit hit and miss for me. I do like this one, but I don't love it. And yeah, I think this is just an I'll be back. Yeah. So all right. So we got this silk cover fueled this cover. I'm not sure I know which silk cover you're talking about. Too much Harley. Yeah. There's definitely Harley overload to a certain point. I would not argue with that. All right, next. We got a little Momoko's back on the list with Ghost Spider #2, the 1 in 25. This was a huge book. This was our first one that really hit. Obviously, there's some renewed interest this week because of the movie. But this is also, hard to find. This 1 in 25 goes for big bucks. 9.8 is up to 1,600. And yeah, with the movie and interest, it's been up here before, but the first appearance in a 9.8, this book, 9.8, goes for less. It goes for around, it's been going for around 1,000, 1,100 when I looked. It may have bumped in the last couple days just because of the movie. But when I first saw this was on the list on Friday, and I looked, and it was still, it was 1,000 to 1,100. This movie, I hate to say it, but this book has just been big money since it came out. This is one cover that seems to sustain. I think this is probably worth it. Maybe you could make it and I'll be back, but it's probably, at least for the short term, I think it's probably worth it. I don't know the straight cash. I don't know that the ceiling's much higher than this, but yeah, I think it's easily a top 5 peaks. This has really set the tone once it came out for me. On his wish list, yeah, nice. Oh, the Nakayama silk cover from last week, maybe. Is that what he's talking about? But anyway, yeah, so I think this one's probably worth it. It's the first of the worth it I give this week. I do give a couple, I think. Yeah. All right, next. Moving away from covers, we're into Micronauts. So last week we talked about ROM being on the list because they're making an Omni of ROM. Well, now they're making an Omni of Micronauts. It's not going to be out until after the first of next year, but it's causing some renewed interest in this. Raw copies for $20, 9.8 up to 140. Mind you, back up to 140 on the 9.8. 9.8s were like $600-700 back when people were going crazy thinking Micronauts was going to be something. Yeah. So at 140, you could almost argue, gosh dang, that's a huge collapse on this book. But this is back up. It was lower than this. And I'm sorry, the Omni coming out is not going to sustain values on this. It causes a nice little bump, but it's not going to sustain values. This is an I'll be back again. It's not a trap because I do think the floor on this can't be much lower than that. It's got to be an I'll be back, or I feel like it should be. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be a fun thing to read, but I'm not going to go buy the other. Thank you, he who remains. I appreciate that. 35% goodness, yeah. Nice. I mean, it's still right now. It's $20. It's not exactly like crazy expensive. All right. Next, we got a little X-Men Adventures #1. This is hitting the list because obviously we've known for forever that they're restarting their animated series. This has been on and off the list a bunch of times because of that. It's hitting the list this week because we got official word on voice actors, and several of them are coming back. The Wolverine voice actor, the Storm voice actor, the Rogue voice actor, Mr. Sinister. There was like 5 or 6 that were coming back, as well as some new actors as well. So not everybody was coming back, but that was what caused us to hit the list again. Raw copies, $18, a 9.8. Was it a 9.8 or a 9.6? Did I write that down wrong? It's 60. That seems super low. Now I'm wondering about this. So I'm gonna look it up real quick. Let's see where we're at. Let's just see real quick. because I feel like that's. But yeah, I mean, this isn't. To me, this is an I'll be back. This book is not necessarily in a high grade. It's got to be a 9.6. There's a 9.6 for 50. Yeah, because 9.8s are pretty hard. There's a 9.6 for 60. 9.8s are super hard in this because, kind of like the Harley book, it was more targeted at kids. So there's fewer high grade issues out there. So yeah, that should have been a 9.6 copy because there's no 9.8 sales. Yeah, as I'm scrolling down through here, there's no 9.8 sales because there's just not that many of them. There's a 9.8. Oh, but that's a newsstand. that doesn't. That's a newsstand that went for crazy money. But yeah, so yeah, 9.6 are going for 60. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right. Sorry, I had it wrong. But yeah, I still think this is an I'll be back. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the show's going to sustain it well enough. Plus, I think this is very true. You can find this. He said all the time up until last year, so it's probably harder to find now. But I think you can still find this for less than these prices currently. Ever seen polybagged? I've seen it polybagged. It's been a while, but I have seen it polybagged. Man. Yeah. Get a newsstand. Yeah, if you can get a newsstand, those are worth significantly more. All right. Next, we got Marvel Preview number 2. The first appearance of Maria Castle, as well as there's another first appearance. But supposedly this is hitting the list because there's rumors. Well, we know they're bringing Punisher back in Daredevil Born Again, and then he's supposed to get his own series. And they're talking about this he's going to be seen like in flashbacks and stuff. But like, I don't know. There's rumors of this, so people are chasing this. Raw 75 to 100. This is an I'll be back. I don't think there's anything here. I don't really know. I mean, a flashback of her getting killed again, is that really gonna be a big deal? I can't see this sustaining those kind of values. I just can't. Unless I'm wrong, it's Maria. Unless my understanding is this is his wife, right? But maybe I got something mixed up. But tell me if I'm wrong. But I can't see her sustaining anything else. I would definitely come back on this for sure. And this is probably borderline trap for me at this value, but I don't know. I have a history with this book to know where this book has been, like where it usually sits at. So I'm calling it I'll be back, but yeah, I don't trust that. Yeah. It is. Yeah, I think it's always, I'm sure it has a floor that's pretty decent on this one, I would expect. So, all right, next. Amazing Spider-Man 238, first Hobgoblin. Not really any new rumors, but we got basically the announcement that, there's going to be another Spider-Man trilogy of the live-action Tom Holland stuff. So people are just chasing this because they think at some point they're going to make Ned the Hobgoblin. The actor himself is kind of like hinted at it multiple times, although he's since kind of apologized because it wasn't really happening and he just thought it would be fun. So he kind of apologized for getting people's hopes up when there was nothing in the plans. But people are specking on this again because they announced that there's going to be 3 more movies. Right now, this is funny because a lot of times when you get a book this age or older and Tom gives an average, it's kind of a BS average. He said average of 450 this week. I was like, really? And really it's 200 to 600. So the 450 wasn't too bad. 900 to 1100 for 9.6. This book is gone for big money all the time. There was a slight increase, but I looked back far enough this week, and this is not that much of a bump. My guess is this book is kind of worth it. It's still kind of recovering from the drop following the comic boom. My guess is this is probably just worth it, just because. Whether anything ever happens with Ned or not, this is a popular villain, popular character, and you got to make sure you have those tattoos. Got to make sure they're in there for sure. This is all with tattoos pricing we're talking about. So not the no tattoos pricing. So no tattoos is definitely much cheaper. It's definitely been, because this was one I wanted early on when I got back in collecting, and even then, like I just felt like good copies were just a little more than I was willing to pay. So I never did get this one. All right, next. We got Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 7, first appearance of Julia Carpenter, and this is a first appearance of a Spider Woman, and this is not related to Across the Spider-Verse. She does not appear in Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think I even saw her. I didn't even see her in the background. Actually, I was a little disappointed. I didn't get Silk. In terms of, we got all these different spiders, but there was no Silk. There was no this Spider Woman. There was no Aranya. Yeah, some of my some which I have behind me, we didn't get. We got a lot of different versions of Peter and a lot of different versions of other male spiders, but we didn't get very many, other than the one version of Jessica and the one version of Gwen and the Spider Bite or whatever. Yeah, we didn't get many of the female spiders, but this is hitting the list because of rumors related to the Madam Web movie. We finally got positive news. We got news on who Sydney Sweeney is playing in the movie, and she has been cast as Julia Carpenter. This movie is out early next year, which, if you're looking at, this will be about a month and a half or so before the movie's out. So the prediction here very much depends on how good is the trailer for the Madam Web movie. I'm not kidding, because I think right now, it also depends probably as much on how good the Craven movie is, but there's not a lot of faith in the Sony stuff right now. The Craven stuff could probably bump that way up or bring it way down. Wait, no Rhino Gwen, no. Yeah, hoping it skyrockets. There were definitely a bunch that were missing for sure. But so all that's going to affect whether or not this actually has a pre-movie bump, I think. I'm going to put this as worth it right now. I don't think it's going down anywhere. At $20 for a raw copy, 9.8 still under 200. I think you're okay for the next 6 months. I think for the next 8 to 10 months until the movie comes and goes, you're probably okay. At that point, so at this point, if you wanted this book, I think you're fine getting in right now. It's maybe an I'll be back, but the I'll be back would be after the movie comes and goes. I think it's worth it right now. We'll see. We got casting when the trailer comes. It just really depends, because this book could bump a bunch if the trailer looks good and she looks like she's a big part. If she doesn't, then it could crash. So it just depends. Nice. I've not ever gotten that book. I probably should. Oh, they got their. Maybe they should just stick to animation, or let those two filmmakers do their Spider-Verse stuff, because, yeah, they got it right this weekend, in my opinion, but they have not gotten it right with their live action stuff, for sure, for a long time. It's been a long time since they've gotten live action right, on the Spidey stuff. All right, next book that's on the list for the second week in a row, Spider-Man meets Spider-Man 2099, which, I mean, sort of happens, but not this version of Spider-Man. They've already kind of met, and yeah, I'm never a big fan on these first meeting of characters, and the movie is out right now. $15 raw copies, 9.8, 120. I still almost say trap, even at those values, but based on the values, I'll say I'll be back. But 9.8 is probably a trap. Let's be honest. Actually, I'm going to put that down. I'm switching it. I'm going to put trap, because I'll be back. Raw trap 9.8. Yeah, because I would not be investing in this book right now. This book will never be more than it is right now, unless we get a live action. Yeah. Fool me once, can't fool me again. Yeah, spider fatigue. For sure. Shh, Percy, I'm almost done. All right, next we got Web of Spider-Man number 118. The first Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider. So yeah, raw copies averaging around 100. This is real. That is the actual price. 9.8 is 900. Hang on one second, guys. My puppy dog is, hang on. My apologies. He almost made it. Down with Spider Boy. It smells like a nope. Yeah. So this book has been steadily increasing over the last year or so. Anyway, it was one of those that it did drop off a little bit after the boom, but like has been steadily climbing back. But he's been a lot of use. He got used in ASM. They had a bunch of the stuff. They made him Chasm. Then he came back and he had his own event. And then he's in the movie. So there's been a lot of buzz around him at the moment. I would put this down as an I'll be back. Even though it's been kind of climbing, I think it's a little high at the moment. With just the movie and everything else. We'll see how much they continue to use the Chasm stuff. There's so much anger right now with just the Spider books in general. I feel like this is an I'll be back. Maybe I'm wrong here. There's enough nostalgia, but this seems just a touch high to me. I don't think it's a trap. This is a movie. This is a book that did come down from the heights, like I said, but not as far like as a book we're going to talk about next. Like this book didn't crash even from the 2020, 2021 highs. It dropped, but it didn't crash, and it's kind of creeping back up. I put it as an I'll be back, but I could be talked into worth it here. See, it didn't. Yeah, it's been holding fairly steady. We'll see. Good for him. I know my nephew really enjoys the 2099. He likes the costume, so they keep using him. They keep using Ben for sure. Although not in ways that some of my Ben Reilly fans enjoy. Next, we got first appearance of not the first appearance of Spider-Woman, the first solo title of Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. Obviously, we get a version of Jessica Drew in the movie. It's a slightly different version, but this book is going for $20 to $50 raw. What did Tom say? Like this is the one book where their average seemed off to me. They said 75. I couldn't find it for raw copies. It was not going for 75. It was 20 to 50 for raw copies. 9.8, 200. Those are not that far off from where this book has been. This book used to, at one point, this book was almost $1,000 for 9.8. I think it actually did get to $1,000. This book has crashed from the comic boom. But yeah, I don't think it's that too much high, but I think it's a little bit. I think it's an I'll be back. I think after the movie goes away, it hasn't jumped that much because it's not exactly this version. So, and people are very strict about that anymore because they've done this multiverse thing, that they want that version, right? In the comic, that specific version is the one they want. And like, even though this is the first Jessica Drew, we got a Jessica Drew in the movie. I think that's holding it back a little bit. So I think it's an I'll be back and not a trap at these particular prices. This book doesn't drop all that much. Nice. There you go. Very cool. Yeah, it's back there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm so small at the moment. So I have a 9.6 that was an amazing AOK for my friend TJ. I had a raw copy before that. It's probably like a 9.4, maybe a 9.2. I would like to have a 9.8 at some point just because it's my birthday book. But because TJ gave me the 9.6, I'm not really that. I probably won't ever go get it. So there isn't a matching to the version that we're getting in the movie. There isn't one yet. So that's why. So you go fumble that idea. There's a good chance of that. All right. Next, we got the villain, the first appearance of the Spot, Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, number 98. Raw copies 30, 9.8, 200, still down from the initial buzz when we heard the Spot was going to be in the movie. The Spot is clearly a main, without giving spoilers, obviously he's a big part of the movie. He's going to be a big part of part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse. So that's going to sustain values here pretty well, but I don't think it's going to go up from here. I think as you get away from the movie, you get 6 months, you're getting dead in between the movies. Maybe we get the trailer. The only thing that makes me hesitate is we could get the first trailer around then, for part 3, for the second, for Beyond, which could cause a bump. But I think between now and when we get that trailer, this is an I'll be back. I think this book is going to back up just a little bit as we get away from the movie, get away from the villain. It's going to bump again when we get the trailer. Then it'll kind of lull before the movie. But yeah, so I would put this in I'll be back and look for opportunities here. Nice. The Spot is a fun. His performance in this is fun. For sure. I think there's some potential here. This is a good character. It does seem like some people prefer 99, that it's the first full. I don't know, but to me, this is the appearance. But anyway, next we have the guy whose movie just came out. We got Ultimate Fallout 4. Yeah, since he's on the cover, it's the Hulk 180, Hulk 181 thing. Yeah. So we got Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales. Raw copies around $500, 9.8 going for 2,000. This book was under. So Tom actually had a sale listed for 16, but there was a $2,000 sale. This had dropped all the way down to like $1,600 book. This was a $4,500 book at one point. I expect over the next year, and with how well this is received, I know there's a crap ton of these out there. There's just a crap ton of these out there, but the appetite for Miles is so huge. Over the next year, with Beyond coming, with the trailer time, my guess is this doesn't really lull in the next year. I think it's straight cash. I think it stays above 2 for the most part over the next year. We got the game about to come out. I don't think the game's out yet, is it? We're going to have another movie. After the second movie, I think there's a chance that it drops back down into where it was, here, the sub 2,000 range. But I think for now, I think this is straight cash over the next 6 months and over the next year plus, with Beyond coming in the game and everything else. And then they announced the live action thing, or they're claiming there's going to be a live action thing. Amy Pascal at Sony was saying they're going to do live action. I don't think this. I think you probably missed the opportunity to get this book for consistently get this book for under $2,000. I think you probably missed that opportunity for at least the short term. That's just where I'm at on this. So, yeah. No, I don't. I definitely won't do that. I don't expect it. I don't know that there might be a few sales here that go under 2,000, but I think it's going to stay right there. It's going to do live action and drop the. Well, that might ultimately take it after the movie comes out, but before the movie comes out, it will not. So there you go. All right, last book has spoilers for the movie. So that's the reason I put it last. There is a character that we don't know from the trailers, everything else shows up at the end of the movie. So if you if you have not got to see it yet, this is your time to leave. Let me put my little banner up. Spider-Verse spoilers. So this next book is a spoiler. Now someone has 60 series. There you go. The 1 in 25 that's always straight cash. So here's your last chance. If you want to get out, the last book is spoilers for the movie. It's a minor scene, but it is a reveal right at the end of this one. All right. Spider-Man number 2, first appearance of the evil Miles, an alternate universe Miles who's evil. And we get him right at the end of this movie. So that is why this book is hitting the list. So we get 2 versions of Miles in here. We're in the Spider-Verse. So yeah, we're getting 2 versions. And one of them is a bad guy. And we get raw copies on this. They're up to $20, 9.8 up to 100. I would expect this to play a major role. I'm a little curious how this fits with Spot and what's going on with the other spiders, how they have room for this and Beyond, but we will see how they're going to make that work. I still think this is an I'll be back. I don't think this really jumps based on the appearance we got here. I think it might jump a year from now after the other one, if he plays an important role. There might be a big jump, or if he's playing an important role in the trailer. But I think you're probably going to get a lull between the movies that you can get this. Not much of one. I mean, you could probably argue, actually, at 9.8, 100, raw 20, you could probably argue worth it. But I would still lean toward I'll be back. I would look for deals. I think you can find them. They may be tough, but I think you can find them between now and then. So that's where I'm at on this. We'll see. That is this week's list. There's 18 books. We're right around 40 minutes. Never seen this cover before. Oh, there you go. So yeah, this is we got the Evil Miles there in the center. So with that, we're gonna get this off of here, and we'll get the spoilers off. So I want to thank you guys for watching. All these are just spec books. Yeah, there's a bunch of spec books. I mean, some of them are solid books. Like it's not like that first Spider-Woman solo title. That's a solid book. It's not an expensive book. I wouldn't, but like it's a good book to have. Miles himself is a good book to have, not just for spec. But yeah, there's a lot of spec going on here for sure. So, all right, gang. With that, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I hope Monday got off to a good start for you, and that you have a good rest of your week. And we will catch you guys next time. If I can find the outro, there it is. Later.